Good morning, friends. Welcome back to our management science class. How are you all? I hope you are all safe. Okay. We are in the last unit of MS. So here, look at this PPT. So we are in the last unit, 6th unit, contemporary issues. So here we already discussed MIS in the first class, and MRP and JIT system. These two are in the third class. PQM, the fourth class, we discussed. Right? MRP and JIT system we discussed in the third class. And TQM we discussed in the second class, right? And fourth class we discussed product life cycle and supply chain management. Today's class we discussed about Six Sigma and CMM, capability maturity model, right? So today's class we need to discuss 5 and 6 units, 6 topics, Six Sigma and CMM. After completion of this class, we have 2 classes only. Just in the next class, we need to discuss ERP and BPO. On the last class, we will end up this last unit, that is 10th, 11th, 12th of benchmarking, balance scorecard, and business reprocess re-engineering. These 3 topics we will discuss in the last class. On the next class, we will discuss ERP and BPO, right? At present, we are discussing about, in this class, we need to discuss these 2 topics, Six Sigma and CMM, right? Right. This is Six Sigma, right? And the next, just look at the slides. Six Sigma, just we have this graph, and we have the 2 methodologies in the Six Sigma, DMA IC. And the next thing is here, DMA DV. These are the 2 methods. And next, we need to discuss CMM, capital maturity model. This is a simple diagram, just to have these 5 levels, right? So we need to discuss these 2 topics in this class. So first of all, look at this thing, Six Sigma. So what is meant by Six Sigma? So Six Sigma is the name of a new method. Already I told you in the starting of this unit. These are the 12 different methods for using to develop our companies. Once again, I want to repeat, these 12 methods are used for to develop our company's performance and sales and profits. So improve the company's efficiency in nowadays, now these days. These are the 12 methods we are discussing. We are using to improve our company's performance. So this is the 5th thing. The Six Sigma is one of the methods to improve our company's performance and efficiency levels. So this Six Sigma was developed by Bill Smith. Look at here. The Six Sigma was developed by Bill Smith in the 1980s, right? It is based upon the quality management fundamentals. Quality management. So to improve the quality in our organization, this Six Sigma will help us to improve the qualities in performances and the processes, as well as our product qualities. So improve the quality in products and the processes of our organization. So for this main purpose, to develop this Six Sigma. So the Six Sigma is majorly used in the Motorola companies, right? Already we know Motorola mobiles, right? So in this particular company, the company developed this Six Sigma concept in 1980s, recent, right? So it is, look at here, Six Sigma is a disciplined, statistical based and data driven approach and continuous improvement methodology for eliminating the defects in the products, the process or services also. So in this Six Sigma is a statistical method, right? Data driven method. So this diagram is related to probability model, right? So here 68, 95, 97, and this is the actual planned performance, and this line is indicating the indication about the actual performance. This line will appears about the actual performance, and this line, this horizontal x-axis line will indicate us the planned performance. This is the planned performance, and this is the actual performance, right? This is the planned performance, and this is the actual performance. So here, these are the different steps: 68, 95, and 97, and 100%. These are the gap between the planned performance and the actual performances. Once again, repeat it: planned performance and actual performances. So these are the different points: 68, 50, 95, 97. These are 100 points. These are the different points or levels, or the gap between the actual performance and the planned performances. These are the gaps. So 68%. So planned performance and actual performance. And this point will indicate us the gap between the standard performance and the actual performance. And these 2 points are also indicating the gap between the actual performance and the standard performance or planned performance. So this is the graphical representation to know the gap between our actual performance and the planned performances, right? And this is the lower limit and this is upper limit. So here, look at this thing. It is a statistical data-driven approach for continuous improvement methodology for eliminating the defects in our production systems. So continuous improvement is the first purpose, and the next, eliminating defects in our production, right? So these 2 purposes, this Six Sigma was developed, right? So when the Motorola company, Bill Smith, in 1980s, this method developed. This method is meant for the 2 things: continuous improvement and eliminate the defects or wastes of products. For these 2 purposes, this Six Sigma was developed, right? So here, look at this thing. This approach was based upon the method cited by W. Edward Deming, Walter Swihart, and Ronald Fishers, among many others. But this is the key person. Will Smith is the key person, right? And these persons, W. Edward Deming and Walter Swihart and Ronald Fishers, are, and among many others, are the helpers to Will Smith for developing of this Six Sigma, right? And it is a graphical representation, and it indicates us the gap between the planned performance and actual performance. Please listen carefully. This graph represents and indicates that it is a gap between the planned performance and actual performance, right? And based upon this graph, how to reduce this gap and how to achieve our targets to the organizations. So here the targets is that just only we have the two targets, that is continuous improvement and eliminating the defects. So these are the 2 major targets in this sense, these 2 targets, right? So for achieving these 2 targets, this graph will help us to understanding easily, right? So here, this Bill Smith developed this Sigma with the 2 methodologies. These are the 2 methodologies, Six Sigma methodologies. So first one is DMA IC, DMA DV. These methods too are similar to each other. These two methods are similar to with each other, right? So D means define, M means measure, A means analyze. So DMA, define, measure, analysis. Same way we have define, measure, analysis, DMA. So here first three stages of these methods, we have common steps: define, measure, analysis. Here also define, measure, analysis. Next, I see here improve or optimize the current processes, improve the current processes, and finally control the processes. Right here, design new alternatives and verify the designed alternatives. So these two things are difference here, right? So these two methods will help us to reduce gap between actual performance and the planned performance. So suppose first case, so this is the planned performance and this is the actual performance, right? So in the first case, we have 900% difference between the planned performance and the actual performance. Then we can use these two methods. Then the actual performance and planned performance gap reduced. So 100% to 99.7 by using this method. And again, the next class also is the planned performance, and this the second point here, the actual performance is now like this, up to here only, up to here, not much up here, just this is the plan. And next thing, look at here, up to level of here only 99.7 and reducing. So now in the second case, the gap is between these two, planned and actual is here, just gap is here. And again we use this method, define, measure, analysis, improve and control, or it may be DMA DV. And after using this thing, and again we check the difference between the planned and actual. Next, the gap is reduced from 99.7 to 95%. So now the actual performance line we can assume and we can estimate like this, up to 95 level, up to 95 level. So planned performance, and at present actual performance line is here like this, right? And again, we need to reduce this gap between the actual performance and the planned performance. So for this purpose, we can again use this two, any one of method from these two. And next, check here, we can reduce 95% to 68%. So now we can imagine this actual performance line like this, right? So here we have the gap between these two, just this the gap, 68% and a 0 level. And again we take one of the methods from these two to fill this gap, After some time we can check this is a planned, and we can assume like this, right? So here, by using these methods, this gap is reducing in different cases. Reducing to from this point to this point. Again, we use this method and reduce this gap from this point to this point. And again, we check, and again we do, and we take this methodologies or these plants, and the gap will also reduce 95% to 68%. Again, we take the method DMA-DV or DMA-DC, then this gap will reduce up to the 0 level. So that it will indicate that our planned performance and our actual performance will the same here, right? So finally, the main purpose is here to improve the performance levels and to reduce the defective products. By using two methods, we can reduce the gap between planned performance and actual performance, right? So first of all, this is the planned performance. Our actual performance is here. We can use these two methods. We can reduce this gap and again reduce this gap and again reduce this gap and again reduce this gap up to 0 level. So here this 0 level will indicate us our planned performance and our actual performance both are same, right? So in this Six Sigma will indicate the reduce the gap between the actual performance and planned performance reduces. This reduce is depending upon these two methods, right? So now look at we should understand these two methods. Define means define the problem. What is the exact problem we have for having these gaps, having these gaps, right? Measure. So this is the planned performance and this is the actual performance, right? So here in this first point, define the problem means here. So what is the reason for having this gap between planned performance and actual performance, right? So this is the first step. And next, measure the risk here. So second thing is measure the risk or measure the key aspects. So what are the key aspects to have this gap and what are the steps we need to take to reduce this gap? That is analyze. That is analyze. So define the problem, measure the risk and analyze the data. And next, improve or take remedial actions. Improve or take remedial actions to fill this gap, to reduce this thing, and reduce thing. So for this reduction, we need to take different solutions or different alternatives. That is the point here. Improve the current processes. Improve the current processes to reduce these gaps. And next, choose these processes and then control the processes. So this is the DMA-IC. Find the problem, define the problem, measure or check level of the risk, and analyze the data and improve or take the remedial steps to fill the gap. And next, control the taken processes or improved processes or check the processes and their performances, right? This is the DMA-DC. Same way, DMA-DV also same. Define, design goals means define the problem, measure the risk, analyze the data. And next, here we take the current process. Here, just change the word improve here. Just design. Just change the only one word, but the same sense here. The same meaning is will appear here also. Design the new alternatives, the new solutions to reduce this gap. Right? Next, here controlling these decisions or processes. Here verify these alternatives or solutions. So these the two methods are meant for to reduce the gap between the planned performance and the actual performance. This is all about Six Sigma. It was developed by Motorola company and by Bill Smith in the 1980s, right? Now coming to the CMM model, the next topic. CMM model means capability maturity model, right? Capability maturity model. So here we have the 5 levels. So level 1, initial stage, level 2, managed stage, and third level 3 is your defined stage, and level 4, quantitatively managed stage, and next last one is optimizing stage. So here, first of all, this CMM is also used for improve the company performance and improve the company's development, right? So here, if the company is going to decline stage, the company, some of companies nowadays using this CMM model, and then the company will improve their performances and their profits, right? So this CMM model is one of the modern and latest method to improve the company's performances and company's profits and sales improvements, right? So here, in this sense, that CMM means capabilities maturity model means simply plan for develop our company's capabilities, right? That is improve the company's capabilities. That is CMM. So here, look at this thing. First, initial stage. In this initial stage, the processes are unpredictable. The processes means here the business activities, the finance department, HR department, marketing department, and the production department. We have the 4 departments we have. So in these 4 departments, we have different business activities. So each and every business activity, we have different set of processes. We have the different set of processes for doing those business activities in a right manner, right? So for this purpose, here in this first initial stage, to improve the capabilities, the processes are unpredictable. We don't know the exact things. So here, poorly controlled and reactive. So we don't, and we poorly reactive, and we don't have the specific controlling techniques upon our business processes. Then we need to improve our company's processes and sales by using CMM model, right? So here, in the first stage, we need to initiate the new processes and new capabilities, right? And the second level is here, managed level. So the processes characterized for projects and is often reactive. So automatically or spontaneously, we can react for those new improved processes. So simply here, initial stage, we introduced the new processes for improving the company's level, the company's capacities. The second stage, here initial stage, just we introduce the new steps, new processes. So in the second stage, just we need to implement, we need to follow the new process for development of our new capabilities, right? So here implement the business all activities. So all processes we need to follow or we need to implement which are developed in this stage, right? That is second stage. And now coming to the third stage, that is processes characterized for the organization and its proactive stage. So here, after completion of implementation of these processes, then we need to go through and we need to study deeply about these processes are practical or not practical, and these processes are having positivity or not having positivity, and there is process will practicable or not practicable, achievable or not achievable. Just we need to check all these processes like this, right? Check the processes practicable or not practicable, implementable or not implementable, right? And we go forward or not go forward. So just we check all the performances, processes of all business activities like these. And next, processes measured and controlled. That is called as here quantitatively managed. So here check the each and every business activities and their performances. So simply here planned performance and actual performance and check our actual performance with our planned performances. If any gap is there, then immediately we take the remedial actions to fill this gap. That is here processes measured and the controlled. So once again I want to repeat here, just observe the planned performance and check and measure our actual performance and compare these actual performances with planned performances. If any gap is there between planned and actuals, then we need to take a remedial steps to fill these gaps. That is the process here, processes measured and controlled. It is also called as quantitatively managed. And finally, we need to focus upon the processes improvement. So improve the each and every tasks, improve the each and every business activities. That is called as here optimizing stage. So initial stage here we introduce the new process, and here managed stage just we follow the new process which are developed in this first stage. In the third stage, just we check the each and every new processes, they are forwarded or not forwarded. The new processes are practiced or not practiced in the future. Just check the certainties or uncertainties of each and every process. So here we introduced, here we followed, here we check each and every process. And next here we need to control, means planned performance and actual performance, and gap between those planned and actuals. If gap is there, then we need to take remedial steps. And finally, we need to improve the all process of business actions. So up to these 5 levels, we can improve our capabilities in our organizations. Then automatically our company will be our company will reach the high level, right? And our company will achieve the targets of the company by using this model, right? This is all about the CMM model. So in this session, we discussed the 2 topics. First one is Six Sigma, and the second one is CMM. CMM model, simply we need to initiate, we need to introduce the new processes, and next stage follow the processes, and the third stage just we need to check properly about these all new introduced processes are practicable or not practicable. And the fourth step, it is a controlling process, that is identify the gap between the actual performance and the planned performance and take the remedial steps to fill the gap if gap is there. And finally, fifth step is improve our business activities. This is all about CMM model, right? And the next topic we already discussed, that is Six Sigma. Six Sigma is we have 2 methods, DMA DC, DMA IC, right? By using these 2 methods, we can reduce the gap between the standard performance and actual performance, right? So the CMM and Six Sigma, these 2 are for improve the company's performance and achieve the targets of the company, right? For the next class, we have another 2 topics, ERP and BPO, right? Thanks for listening, guys. Stay home, stay safe, be well prepared for your some exams. Thanks.